Hello everyone and welcome to the awards ceremony for the World Magic Cup 2013. What an extraordinary tournament it's been and finished in epic, miraculous fashion. Give it up for your champions, it's Team France. National champion Raphael Levy. Stéphane Soubrier. Jan Guthman. And Timothée Simoneau. Okay, let's begin with Raf. Come in, a Hall of Famer. That was an incredible day. You've had an amazing career. Has this been the best moment of your Magic life?
I have to wait a little to,
Process it.
Process it, understand what's happening, and I'll let you know tomorrow.
You must be incredibly proud of not just yourself, but your teammates here.
The team's been great. We worked the best way possible. We prepared well. We had the good overview of everything that's happening. So I'm very happy of my guys here. Yes!
Yeah! Yeah!
Timothée, he's very happy. Timothée, let's just have a quick word here. The last turn, you played the last turn of the World Magic Cup. When you saw that Rakdos return before anyone else, what did you think?
We did it. We did it.
You can't say fairer than that. They did do it. They are your World Magic Cup champions for 2013. Once again, France! Raph Levy, Stéphane Soubrier, Jan Guthman, Timothée Simoneau. Congratulations to them all. And that concludes the World Magic Cup. The World Championship still to come. Let's take you back to the news desk. Zach Hill and Marshall Sutcliffe.
As we have our champions now, let's take a look at our runners-up. We want to make sure that they get their due. We're going to be having a conversation with the French team in a minute as you see the flag breathing in the foreground there. Hungary. What a fantastic performance from Hungary. I mean, they didn't come in as one of the heavy favorites or anything like that. And here they are, one draw step away from World Magic Cup Championship.
Yeah, I mean, they got second place. We spent a lot of time on France. They were very, very, very close to being World Magic Cup champions. The difference between this is very small, right? Yeah, and while they weren't necessarily the team everyone was talking about in the beginning, you've got a veteran Gabor Coxis, you have Thomas Nag, two really excellent players, heralding this team. What we saw is that mix of experience proved incredibly valuable going into days 2 and 3. We had a lot of veterans sort of come out of the woodworks and herald these teams. The deck that I was most impressed with was actually the deck that Cochise was playing, the green-white aggro deck. We've seen a lot of kind of fancy variants on this, a lot of faster versions. This deck was just good creatures deck. Yeah. Curving into Voice of Resurgence, Strangleroot, Geist, and Advent of the Worm, a lot of resilience against Supreme Verdict.
I mean, honestly, some of the best creatures we've seen recently in these colors.
Yeah, I mean, Silverblade Paladin can kill you out of nowhere. Sublime Archangel can kill you out of nowhere. One Ajani, Caller of the Pride, yet again, tons of damage. Sigarda, Host of Herons.
Interesting
one. We hadn't really seen in a mid-range deck before. Really, this deck was just kind of a lot of good cards, Rancor, Celestia Charm, but it was incredibly potent. I think for a lot of reasons, Raph Levy's deck was potent.
So, in a sense, it kept it simple, right? I mean, when you look at this list, it's like, that's a good card, that's a good card, that's a good card. It's just right down the line.
Right.
Every card has its role, and besides the elves, which have their specific role, every card stands really strongly on its own. Strangleroot Geist, Voice of Resurgence, Loxodon and Smiter. I mean, these are tough, resilient threats that come down and they're there to stay. Sometimes they come back twice. Sometimes they make a bunch of elementals. I mean, these are just good Magic cards.
Right, and even the elves in concert with Rancor can deal plenty of damage. In concert, Rancor plus Silverblade Paladins, a lot of damage. They can fuel Sublime Archangel. So, I mean, just this deck is really a kind of well-oiled machine. And then I love the Unflinching Courage out of the sideboard.
Yeah.
It's a card that Hexproof plays. A lot of people fear out of that deck. But it's easy to forget that for a long, long time, dating back to Kibler's PT Chicago, Armadillo Cloak and its cousin Unflinching Courage are cards you can just bring in when you're a green-white deck.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Irvin Hosu, you and Adrian Corbel, also the other two players on that team, and we want to congratulate them as well. They had a pretty standard-looking blue, white, red list here in the middle. I mean, I'm sure there's some cards that they tweaked, but we saw this deck in and out.
Although we did see main deck Counterflux, a great edge in all of the control mirrors we've talked about.
Yeah.
Main deck Thundermaw Hellkite, a card a lot of players were siding in, goes very well with the two main deck Cavern of Souls, where they're really able to force through threats between End-Step Restoration Angels, Thundermaw Hellkites, War Leader's Helix, 3 Pillar of Flame. It's very easy for this deck to turn on the damage, and I think we're able to see it switch roles very effectively over the course of all of these matches.
Yeah, a few cards in here, a nod to potential control mirrors. I think that they probably had a pretty good idea that they were going to be facing a lot of red, white, blue, and, you know, hey, if you get in the seat against a red, white, blue player, then, you know, having access to cards like Counterflux is pretty awesome.
Well, and then we see out of the sideboard the Rock's Faithmender, Archangel of Thune, kind of transformational sideboard, trying to not be as much of a sort of long game Sphinx's Revelation control deck as a tap out control deck. You're just playing a threat that your opponent can't remove. In this case, something like Faithmender not killing the opponent, but gaining an amount of life that's just impossible to overcome.
Right.
And then of course Archangel of Thune just winning the game by itself.
Right. Also, I see a couple of Is It Staticaster and a couple of Aetherling as well, a card that we saw throughout the course of the weekend. Some in the main, some in the side for the red, white, blue decks.
Right. A great, again, the mirror matchup. Belgium's plan was 2 Cavern of Souls, 3 Aetherling. This deck gets 2 Aetherling, 2 Cavern of Souls, 2 Thundermaw Hellkite. Again, just gaining a huge edge in the mirror. I even like the Aetherling plan a little bit better out of this deck because it's so dense with threats that it sometimes can just resolve Aetherling the old-fashioned way because it runs the opponent's deck out of counterspells.
Right. And then the last deck for Hungary, Corbel, he was playing his Jund
deck with Chandra.
Somebody has joined us here.
Why, hello there. Hello.
It's Raph Levy. Well, yeah, make sure you hold the mic up nice and close. Raph,
like this?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Team France is our World Magic Cup champion. Can you talk to us a little bit about those last few moments?
Last few moments.
Do you need to take a deep breath?
It was a dramatic ending to a great tournament. But, well, we've been waiting for this card for like a few turns. And, well, it came up, so.
And it came up right in time.
Yeah.
So I want to take, I guess, a step back from that match and really just talk to you about your preparation for this tournament. I mean, you've done everything there is to do in Magic. But this is only the second World Magic Cup. You know, how did you feel about leading this team to this event? You know, you had Timothy Simino, has a Grand Prix top 8, 2 players less high profile. What was your preparation like coming to this event?
Like last year, we had a pretty good team as well, and we finished top 16. We didn't go to the last because we messed up with the last constructed portion. We had too much to prepare for, and we just didn't have time to do everything. But this time, we got ready. We came here last week on Monday and played non-stop for like 4 days. We stayed in the hotel lobby and like played non-stop to figure out everything. So the only thing I was worried about was the Return to Ravnica seal deck, because I know how high variance the format is. Because I knew we're prepared for the standard portion. I knew M14 was going to be fine. And that was just that one. I was really, really scared about that one. I was scared for that one. I didn't want to tell anyone, because I was like, yeah, no worries. We're gonna do just fine. But deep inside, I was like, come on, we just have to go through this one.
Now, how did that actually go for you? That sealed?
Oh, it was great. Like,
you opened a sweet pool.
Opal was fine, and we did well.
Yeah, good. So, you know, Zach was saying, you've been around for a long time. You've been playing Magic. You've got a ton of pro points. Where does this rank for you as far as your career goes?
I don't know yet.
It's too fresh?
Yeah, because it's the World Magic Cup. I don't know if it's exactly the World Championships. I guess it is, but it's not like written somewhere like it's the World Championships of Magic in teams. But I guess it is, and since I need a little time to process it and see exactly what it means. But I'm super excited and really happy we did it.
Now, what about your teammates?
What about them?
Well, I'm just, you know, how did everything go with them? Are these your friends?
Yeah, I knew Stefan. Stefan played with me last year, and I know Timothy because we prepared for the PT every time together. So I knew him and I knew Stefan. I knew I could trust them, and I didn't know Jan at all. And we prepared without him. So he came in on Thursday, the night before the tournament.
Oh wow!
So we set him out for the sealed portion because we didn't know how good he was in sealed deck, but we knew he was good in constructed because he made 2 finals of the qualifiers. Wow. He won one of them with white-blue. So we're pretty confident giving him the white-blue deck. We just talked with Eddie Pichon, other Grand Prix top 8 from France.
Yeah.
He played that deck for a while as well, and he could update him with all the new changes. So we were ready with the standard decks, and I'm really happy we worked on this mono green deck, which was, I think, was a great deck.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. I mean,
yeah, people want to hear about that deck.
How did you come up with this list? I mean, it's nothing like anything anyone else brought to the table. As you know, copies of things like One, Revenge of the Hunted. You clearly thought this through. How did you arrive at this deck?
Like, we had John and white-blue, and we were trying to figure out the last deck. And we tried the decks we found at the Players Championship, World Championships, and we couldn't find anything that really like matched everything else. If you played like Kibler's red-green deck, you couldn't play John. And I actually didn't like this deck. I thought it was just way inferior to the deck we played, the mono-green deck. It didn't take any cards from any other decks. Well, I would have played them 1 or 2 more Scavenging Oozes if I could have. But
of course.
And we tried against those 2 decks, and it was actually fine. It was above average, and I think that's what we wanted. And we tried against other decks, and it was pretty good against all the random decks. It was very fast, it was very stable. It's only 1 color, 18 forests, and your explosive draws are impossible to stop. So we thought it was like the deck to play. We were really surprised it worked out that well. But in the end, they were confident in me playing it, and I was confident winning with it.
Well, and I guess, but even like not just how the deck performed once you found it, but how did you develop this deck? Did you find the list somewhere?
First we checked the list online.
Oh, sure.
And we tried the big guard deck, the Elf Ball deck.
Yeah.
And we hated it.
Really?
There was just too many 5-drops, very, very unstable, in my opinion. And we saw other green decks with Rancors and Predator Oozes. And they didn't do too well. They're like 1 Star City, 1 finished top 4 at Star City Open, but that's it. And no one else played it. So like, yeah, there's something behind it. And we played against John, and we got crushed because of Olivia all the time. And it was like, Olivia is such a problem. So we tweaked the deck a little bit and put Garrix in. And Garrix ended up being really good against the 2 matchup wanted to be, and against everything else. So we had a mono-green aggro deck that could like become a mid-range deck with Garrick and pretty much be above average against everything. So that's the story.
Sick.
Raph, I wanted to say congratulations to you and your whole country, and of course your teammates, for becoming the World Magic Cup champion. It's a great accomplishment. You should definitely go out and enjoy it. Yep.
It's awesome to see you.
Okay, Zach, so we need to take a deep breath, buddy. That was really exciting. I'm sorry. I mean, you're going to have to go back and watch a replay because you didn't have Rich in your ear, and I did, and it was unbelievable stuff from our guys in the booth there. And what a great end to the World Magic Cup. Team France, congratulations to everybody at home that's watching that was rooting for France. Now, as we lay that to bed, we are moving our way. Yeah, our focus. Yeah, no, there's more. We're not done here. There's a lot more that we're going to be bringing you. It's World Championship is where we're going to be turning our focus now. And what that means is, got some videos. So I actually had a chance to sit down with our top 4 from the World Championship, and I got a chance, I sat down and I had just a personal conversation with each one of them, where, you know, we talk about deck lists, we talk about magic cards, but sometimes you can kind of lose sight of who that person is that's sitting there, right? You just sort of put them in this category, and there they are. And I wanted to kind of get a little personal with them and see what they were like. And that way, you guys at home have an idea to see who you're really rooting for here in the World Championship. So why don't we run those videos right now, and after that, we'll be back to kind of set the stage for the top 4 for the World Championship. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.